Hey everyone, this is Amanda Moore from the Angelman Syndrome Foundation, and you're listening to the ASF podcast, the show that explains everything you want to know about Angelman syndrome. We're so excited you're here, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Hello. Welcome to the Angelman Syndrome Foundation podcast. I am so thrilled to be joining. I am guest hosting. My name is Liz Thompson, and I help support the development team at the Angelman Syndrome Foundation. And I'm even more excited to share that I am here today with Jon and Amara. Okay, thank you for correcting that. Amara Smith, who are out of Ohio and with Safe Place Bedding. They are great partners to the Angelman Syndrome Foundation, and we are so thrilled to take a little bit of time to learn more about you guys and Safe Place Bedding and everything that you guys are doing with the Angelman community. You guys are incredible. So let's just go ahead and start. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Safe Place Bedding and what inspired you to kind of create safe beds?
So basically, we started our company because we have a son with Angelman syndrome as well, and just a little bit of like the origin story of our company was Skylar. So the first 7 years of his life, he did not sleep a whole night through for 7 years. I would say it was at least that. Jon and I did a lot of tag teaming. It was rough, and I'm sure all of you can totally relate to that. But when we had purchased this home a while back, Skylar was, I want to say he was around 7 or 8 or so. It had these like playhouse beds in it. The previous owners had built them, and one was shaped like a barn. And Skylar actually loved that bed, and he went in there and he slept through the night. It had like this little door, and he would like close it. And we're like, this is amazing. Like it was a miracle in our lives that we were able to actually sleep through the night together. Like it was insane. And so that was great. And then, at home, when we were home, that was awesome. But then whenever we wanted to travel, we came into the situation where Skylar, we didn't have anywhere safe for him to sleep. He wouldn't sleep. He was like overstimulated. So to be like in a normal bed, he just wouldn't sleep. And like, a regular bedroom. So he liked to have the enclosed, like the cocooning style. He still loves that to this day, just deep pressure. And then of course you add to it seizures, fall risk, all of those things. I mean, it was just, a cluster of disaster. So we have all kinds of crazy stories when we would travel. But one time we were in Florida, we still were brave enough to try. Skylar had gotten out, he was up, it was like 3 a.m. of where he was sleeping. He wasn't asleep. So the whole house wasn't asleep. And we're exhausted. And Jon was like, there has to be something that you can take with you that you can just like put it up real quickly, have a safe like sleeping solution for your kiddo, and then you can take it with you. And basically we did a Google search. Nothing was there. Jon had this like idea. He's the inventor. Drew it out on this like piece of paper. And from there, that's kind of how our safe place began. How it began was like, we just had this drawing, we did this search, nothing was there. And then from there, we took it and ran with it. So we started with our travel bed. And because we wanted to, for one, we needed a solution. And then as we kind of went through the process with engineering and prototyping,
learning and family trials,
all kinds of stuff. Yeah. We were like, we want to share this with other families that are like us. There has to be more than just, us out here that is struggling with this and wants to be able to travel. And our motto is live without limits. And that's because we feel like even though our kiddos have these limitations, right? But we want to have the solutions and the resources where we can truly live in a way that, those limitations won't matter because we can push through them. And it may look different for us, but that's kind of where that's how our business began.
Yeah.
I was
So
going to
we
say, I
got
love that. I love that Live Without Limits because, when Cammie was diagnosed, that was the first thing that goes through so many people's heads is all the stuff that might get taken away from this experience, right? And, as someone who uses your travel beds, like it has changed our lives, right? Like, because we got to take the kids to California and Disney this summer, which was amazing. And as Cammie got older and more mobile, we needed a space that we could feel confident in her in. And it was the first time ever that we were able to have her in a hotel room, like in her own space, not in between us, not everyone could sleep better. So I love that motto. That's incredible.
That's amazing.
yeah, it does. Like I always teased her some of the vacations we went on that he didn't sleep. I'm like, it's not even worth going on vacation because it's just the whole family's up and tired.
Yeah.
Then like your typical kids probably slept okay, but then you're so tired you can't do anything. Then Skylar would have seizures and everything. So it really has helped out a bunch.
Yeah.
And like I said, Skylar loves being enclosed and just being in his own little area.
Mm-hmm.
So we always say it, a little tip for anybody, like Embassy Suites, they have the separate rooms.
Yes.
So we can have the monitor on the kid, and then Skylar can have his little own room. And he just sleeps so much better because he's overstimulated. Like if you had a little window and like a little bit open up and there's a little red light flashing, he would sit there and watch that little red light all night long. Or if you can hear him, he'd be like, hey. So it's got to be perfectly quiet, perfectly dark.
I love that. Well, you came up with a brilliant design, and I love that you just sort of sketched it out on the fly and came up with something that I know is so helpful to so many people. So tell us a little bit too about, you said that you were an ER nurse at one point and stuff. And so like, how has your experiences helped build this company? How did you guys apply some of that to, being able to serve the community like this?
Yeah, I think it's helped out a lot, especially, back before we made the bed, I didn't have one other invention for a valve, which that helped just the engineering and like learning how to go through the patent process and learning how to start the company. Then the first 2 years of my nursing career, I worked in oncology, then I moved to ER. Then I worked there basically the next 15 years. But just seeing all the little kids come in, just like they got out of bed at midnight and then messed with the dog or got bit or, I just seen all these injuries and things. And I think also being a nurse, it gets you like, okay, because I think some people are like, your special needs can't do that, but it's amazing what they can do when you're not watching. So I mean, like, it's just like, how did you get in that?
It's such a fear.
It's a fear. Yeah. Short side note is like my son was in a roller, like a standard roller, like had a walker. But
when he was little.
When he was little, had a walker. And he was walking around another room, and I heard this clanging, and I was like, what does he have? And he actually went up to the cupboard, reached above him, got all the knives out of the kitchen drawer, and was like clanging it around. I went in there, I was like, what are you doing? So I definitely know anything the kids can get into. It's just like, what the heck?
Well, and I think that's something in the Angelman community, right? That they're really smart and they can figure things out. There's a lot of kids who you hear stories, they figured out how to get out of the child-safe locks in their bedrooms and all of that. So you can't always just rely on one tool to keep kids safe at night.
Yeah.
I think it's just helped me like think of every worst case scenario, then play it off that. So we try to design all our products. Okay, what if this happens? What if this happens? Because I seen all the kids get hurt and like what happens at night and like, especially with Skylar, what he would try to do and then what makes him comfortable. So try to find a happy medium of safety and comfortability, something around them terms.
Yeah, we had a situation not too long ago. We were working with a family to get a bed, and this poor mom, they actually have an autistic child, but an eloper, but they had like the alarms on the windows for this child. They had the door locks, and that child figured out how to open up the windows, even with the locks on it, and second story window. And they found this window open, and thank goodness their kiddo was in their room still, but they would have been able to go out, and we were able to get them into a bed. But wow. It's just like really real danger that can happen, something like even with Skylar with the knot, like we caught him right away, but still, those little things it happens so quickly.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
mean, there's the risk of injuries and the danger that comes along with that. But also, we all know in the Angelman community how sleep is a problem. And so, and
Yes.
sleep's not just for sleep problems for them because it can trigger seizures and stuff when they're tired, but also as the caregiver, being sleep deprived for many, many years, it is really, really difficult and affects a lot of aspects of our lives. And I think that that's something your guys' products are just really phenomenally addressing some of those issues.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned some of the design aspects. So I would love to hear more about the products and how do you guys design these products to meet the needs of special needs families and how, are they unique?
Yeah, the travel bed we designed is so it'd be quick. We wanted something you could travel with that'd be light, be under 20 pounds, and you'd be able to use it as an overhead so you can keep it with you. Just make sure they didn't lose your bags. The worst case scenario is to get to wherever you're getting and not have a bed. But also something to keep them safe, but also movable. So at least I know my son at night, like sometimes he'll kick the top of the bed or he'll move around just so he wouldn't get hurt. Also, our our travel bed's made to attach to any full bed or larger. So really any bed you can go in and attach to. I know sometimes in the hotels and stuff they have queen or king beds. We just wanted something that would quickly attach to any bed and get ready. The travel beds, like I said, is just easy to carry around. It's easy to throw wherever you're going. Even if you keep it in an emergency, like if you had to stay away from your home for a little while or anything like that. The full beds.
I gotta tell a funny
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I have a funny story. We had, there was some floods. I can't remember, was it Texas? Not too long ago. You guys maybe remember this. We had a family who has one of our beds and it's our older model. And they said they had it and they were ready to blow it up and put their kid in it if they needed to use it to escape. Yeah, the flood, because I knew it could float. And so we're like, that's a new one. We've not heard of that. But
wow.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Crazy.
That is so interesting.
It just made me think of that when you said the lightweight and so go ahead. You were talking.
Yeah. Then in the permanent beds, we try to get something so it's a little bit roomy, but roomy and not roomy enough to where like it doesn't induce sleep. It doesn't help them calm down and rest, and doesn't provide that swaddling effect that usually helps kids, especially Skylar and stuff. So that's why our permanent beds are a little bit shorter, just so it helps that person feel a little bit more comfortable in the bed. The top is clear, so it has a monitor on it. Also, one thing is when they kick the sides, because usually they're a little bit wild sometimes. They kick the sides to help. The cover actually rolls on the frame a little bit, so it kind of like absorbs their kicks, if that makes sense.
Got it.
So basically just something durable and just something to help them sleep. Just something really simple that anybody that can put together, or if they have anemia, they can put together. Just something the kid would have, and it could be able to look nice, but also serve the purpose to keep them safe at night.
Yeah, that's great. I know that the travel bed that I've had the privilege of using, I mean, that thing goes together so fast. I mean, minutes. It was blown up and ready to go. And I just thought it was just brilliant in how simple it is to use, on any, like you said, any size bed when you're traveling. For the permanent bed, so when you think about moving to a permanent bed, are there customizations? Are there certain features, that I know that you guys have like the cameras and stuff. Can you talk about some of those features that you find that are different on a permanent bed?
Yeah, on a permanent bed, it's of course more for home use. They're pretty bulky, just to withstand like the daily treatment and daily use. Some people have us put access in them, whether it's for cardiac monitors or tube feeds or anything like that. Our beds now come standard with the cameras. So the camera's on a mount outside of the bed, so the kid or whatever the user is doesn't have any access to it. So the parents can see, it can alarm with movement, and has sound, and can light up to different colors. Yeah. And a lot of times when you're thinking about doing a permanent bed, your child has to be big enough to be out of the pack and play. You got to show like why they need a permanent bed. I mean, I know every parent knows why they need one for safety, but just be ready when you're filling out insurance paperwork and when you're trying to get ready. Like, what have you tried before, and what has failed, and we'll just walk you through that whole process. But basically,
so you guys are able to help create those insurance letters and stuff that are required?
Yes.
That's great.
Anybody that needs to be done is you can go to our site, fill out an insurance form. What we do is here in Ohio, we can bill insurance directly. If you're out of Ohio and you need a DME, we'll actually find a DME and help that DME walk through the process to get you covered.
Oh, fantastic.
And actually, yeah. And actually, by the end of this year, we'll be in 18 other states. So we're growing quickly. So if we're not in your state now, we'll probably be in your state pretty soon.
Yeah.
That's so exciting because it's so overwhelming to always have to be battling insurance and figuring out all the pieces you need. So the fact that you guys can help with that's really incredible.
We are the families that we serve, right? We've been in your shoes and we are in your shoes. So when we're thinking through, like our mission is to put the family first. And so we always think that way when we're talking about what does a process look like for a family, like whether it's setting up a travel bed at midnight in a hotel, maybe you're on a layover somewhere, you can do it within 5 minutes. Like what is going to serve that family? So when it comes to insurance, we've tried to really take down all the hurdles that we know have tripped us up, so that that's not something someone else has to now walk through and wait and be frustrated, because you're already, one, sleep deprived, and two, you're frustrated. You don't know who you're supposed to talk to. So we really do, whether we're partnering with the family right here, because we're the only safety bed company in the U.S. Safety bed manufacturer. There we go. In the U.S. that makes our product and can bill insurance. So there's no middleman when you can work directly through us. So in Ohio, as Jon was saying, that's where we're at right now. We're going into other states. But if we can't do that for you, if you're not in our state or in another state that we serve, we're going to team you up and partner with a DME in that state, so that you can, and we have a really close relationship and really good working relationship with those DMEs. And they know that, Safe Place is going to come alongside us and help us, because they've went through all these hurdles. They've already done it before. So now we can have the best chance of approval for a family. So, yeah.
That's amazing. That's so great.
Hey guys, it's Amanda here. As you know, we're here for you, our community. If you have questions about any topics we can discuss in our podcast, or if you have ideas for future episodes, we'd love to hear from you. All you need to do is email me at dearamanda@angelman.org. Thank you so much for listening and your continued support of the Angelman Syndrome Foundation.
What if you're a family outside the United States? Are families outside the United States able to access Safe Place?
Yes. We have dealers for our travel beds in other countries, Scotland, France, and we have a couple of other ones. All they need to do is email us where they're at, and I'll try to connect them to the local dealer. I always try to connect them to the local dealer just because they can get it to them faster, they can answer questions, and they know around their area they can answer any custom laws or anything like that they need. On our permanent beds, we ship the permanent beds directly from here. We have shipped them to all kinds of places in the UK, France, just anywhere. We had one in Japan. Just like anywhere that we can go, we just need their address, and we can do a shipping quote and try to find the best situation for shipping, whether that be air shipping, by sea, or just whatever we need to do to get it to work.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing.
Short answer, yes.
I love that. No, it's great. It's nice to know somebody, like a way to access things no matter kind of where you are. And as I mentioned to you guys before we kind of started the talk, is I'm a military family, and so I know people who travel all over the world all the time, and it's kind of hard to know where to go with things sometimes. So that's fantastic. They can come to you. You mentioned the family with autism and that story about how important that bed was to get for safety purposes. I'd love to hear some more stories about the families that have inspired you guys to keep going, or how you guys see, these safety beds making an impact in the community.
Oh my gosh, it's like our favorite thing, because those stories, they keep us going, because it's hard sometimes. It's hard running a company. There's hurdles you never knew you would have to tackle, or you have to go. You just never knew. You just didn't even know that was a thing until you were in it. However, there's at the very beginning when we released our travel beds, there was a family, actually, they have an Angel. And so she got one of our travel beds, and they went on their very first vacation. Their son was 23 when that happened. So he's probably closer to 30 now. 23 years old, and she reached out to us and she said, we have never been on a family vacation in 23 years until now. And then that year they went, I mean, they probably still are traveling all over, but they went on several trips even that year. And so that it was just like, that encompasses what our whole mission is. I mean, of course, that's what the travel bed, but it's like, you know, they were able to do something they weren't able to do before just because they got one of our products. And it's not even about the product. It's just about being able to spend time and make memories with your family. So that's really awesome.
That can make me cry. I mean, I'm a crybaby anyways, but that stuff makes me want to cry because it's just so powerful.
Yeah.
We have a lot of customers that come, even the product, but even like be able to bill insurance and be able to like make that our main product is like, we just had a woman applied. I can't remember. I think she was in Kansas, but she'd been trying for 2 years to get a bed. And she finally got approved. It wasn't even us billing, it was us helping on a DME walk through the process of getting it covered. But she just like finally got covered. So it was just, it's helping the other people kind of like walk through that process, even if they've been denied a bunch, to be able to get through it. Considering like we've learned through these years, like exactly what the insurance needs and it is usually like a long process of trying to find out exactly what paperwork they want. And they usually don't tell you anything.
Well, it's so hard. You hear people getting denied all the time.
Yeah.
It is hard. The hard thing is they'll get denied the first time and they'll switch up the paper and they might get denied the second time, but there's also a state level you can take it to. You can usually deny state, and a lot of, from the last 3 or 4 months, we've never been denied at state level. So it's like, but it's fine in the DME that'll appeal it the first time, then appeal it the second time, then take it to state. So it's just how dedicated are the people to get the product to the families, you know, because it takes a long time for the office to do it, but it's like if you are one of them families, you kind of know it's like super important to get. You just don't want to write the family off saying, hey, you can't get approved, sorry. You want to try to get them in that bed as much as you can because you know all the other stuff that relates to it.
Yeah, and we're willing to take it to that level. If a family's experiencing that, we'll take it all the way to the state level. Is it called Permidian?
Yeah, here in Ohio.
In Ohio, it's called that. Okay. Yeah. So
that's amazing. What a great service you offer, because that is, I mean, someone to help walk through and be a partner with you through that is phenomenal.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Even beyond that, if worse comes to worse and they can't get coverage, we do work with families, whether it's through payment plans. There's always a cash pricing that we work with, or grants. We've had several grants that are successful too, that families are able to get. So we really do come alongside and journey with them because we know what it's like. So, yeah.
And well, on the grant note, I know that you guys partner with the Angelman Syndrome Foundation in a lot of ways. You guys have donated lots of beds to Angelman families through either the Family Fund and Angelman Strong and all of that. So what has inspired you to support the Angelman Syndrome Foundation?
Well, gosh, I mean, we are an Angelman family. No, honestly. So when Skylar was diagnosed, he was almost 3. I feel like now people are finding out so much more quickly. So that's really kudos to the Angelman Syndrome Foundation and just the awareness that whether it's the Angelman Strong events, just all of that's, happening not only here in the US, but globally, I feel like there's so much support, and that is such a gift. We work with a lot of different people, families with children with other, diagnoses. And the Angelman syndrome families, like the foundation, that's not necessarily replicated in other, with other syndromes, if that makes sense. And so I'm realizing what a gift it is. And it's such a beautiful place that people have somewhere to turn when, because it really is, it's hard. Like when you get that diagnosis to then find there's this community here that's willing to walk alongside you and support you. That's something that's just not normal. And so thank you for you guys for what you're doing in that area. So for one, we want to partner and give back because we have been supported. So I don't know if I answered your question. I was going on a rabbit.
No.
Yeah.
It's just so good to like sew into that.
Yeah.
And like I said, whether we help financially or like give a bed to someone and help them get some sleep and help the family. It's just like my wife said, it's just such a good community to be with. And it's just, when you do get that diagnosis, it's like, I know there's a big range in other genetic disorders and everything, but there's such a big range. You're like, well, will my kid be able to do this, or will they be able to do this? There's just so much, not concrete, just what ifs. And it's nice to have someone go alongside and be like, no matter the what ifs, we'll be here to walk you through whatever the what ifs are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And if we can just be a part of that and be part of the community, it's just nice being.
If your child has a hard time sleeping, we're going to be there to help you. Or if you just need to call, someone could just call us and be like, hey, can I just vent for a minute? Yes, you can. My son, he's 21, Skylar's 21. We've been through some really hard seasons, and we still, even this morning, Skylar had tremors this morning, and he, it was just like, he's just kind of had a rough week where he's woke up having tremors. And so we're walking through that. That was just this morning. So it's like, we've been through it, and we still do at times.
Yeah.
But there's so much joy. There's so much we've learned just from being his mom and dad. Like, he teaches us so much about the true meaning of life and what we really should value, and to love in such a pure and raw way. That's such a gift. And he carries that, and he shares that with so many people, all the people that he's in contact with. Makes me cry, because it's just, and all of our kiddos are this way, and it's amazing. So
I would second everything you said there. I feel like our community is phenomenal, and I'm so grateful that the Angelman Syndrome Foundation has spent 30 years building that for us, so that we got to kind of come into this phenomenal group of people. And I tell people all the time, I was like, our kids are walking examples of pure joy, and that is something a lot of people don't get to experience in life, and it's so special. So I'm there with you. I love that you guys have gotten to that so firsthand, because I think you guys are able to serve this community in such a special way because you've experienced it like that as well.
Sure.
Amazing.
I think it's like learning how to, I think so many people think of their kids and like celebrating the things that they do and stuff. But I think it's so interesting to have a special needs child or an Angelman. It's like you're celebrating like them feeding themselves, or like for the first time, or like this. It's just so many like small victories through the years that you get to celebrate. And it's nice to have some kind of family or some kind of people group to like be able to share that with, and then them understand like how big of a deal that is. Just a little thing like, he walked straight up, upright, for so long, or,
absolutely.
He fed himself, or just, anything small is just worth.
Well, your first time ever sleeping through the night.
Yeah.
That's like,
that was amazing.
That's a big one. That's a big one. And Cammie's 7, and I still feel like we're in the phase where we don't know if we're going to sleep through the night or not still, and it's just kind of every single night things change and depends on where she is. And so when you start getting that consistent sleep and can start to actually depend on it, it's pretty life changing. So
it is. It really is.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. So what else would you like Angelman families to know about Safe Place Bedding or any of your products? What else have we not chatted about?
Whatever they need, we're here for them. We're adding a lot of products. We're adding like incontinence care supplies. We're adding adult strollers. We're trying to get different things that our community would need that we can walk them through the same process as our beds.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So we're trying to add some different products and just be able to ease the process, because we call the doctor, like if someone would need a bed, they would just get on our thing, fill out a form. We would contact their doctor, let them know the paperwork we need, and then kind of work with the doctor's office to get all that paperwork so it's right. So when we go to the insurance company, they have a higher chance of approval. Yeah. So it cuts down on the parents a lot. They don't need to go to the doctor. As long as they've been there recently, but they don't need to go to the doctor. They don't need to have to figure out their own paperwork. They don't need to have to figure out anything about the insurance. We do all that for them. So it's just, and we're trying to do that with other products, just like a hand holding, because we know they got enough stuff on their plate, let alone trying to argue with the insurance or argue with the DME, trying to get the equipment they need. So it's just, we're here for whatever they need. Even if they're getting equipment through another DME and they're having a problem, they can call. We might be able to give them some advice. or, just whatever they were. If we got the knowledge to do it, we'll try to share the knowledge and help them out any way we can.
Yeah, and really kudos to our team, because we're a small family-owned company, but our team is growing, and just they're walking right alongside us and learning as we go as well. Mm-hmm. So just I want to shout out to our team right now, because they're amazing for the work that they do, and they have a heart investment as well into these families that we're serving. So whether they're loading up a truck, or they're calling the DME, or they're talking to a doctor, they're just like, we just had a family the other day, or actually yesterday, their house burnt down. They have one of our beds. They had a house fire. Thank God everybody was okay. But they lost the bed. And so they're like, what do we do? So, we sent them a travel bed for them to use in their hotel room. And we're going to, if they need something from us, so that whether it's insurance or whatever, to get them back into their permanent bed once they get their, new living situation.
We was actually able to call their insurance company. They are going to approve another bed for them.
Oh,
so we just need the fire report, and then some other stuff, and then we'll be able to give another bed shipped out and put it together for them.
Yeah.
So it'll be good.
Incredible.
That's awesome. But but as far as like the Angelman community, we just honestly we want to be a household name in a sense, like, that whether you're using our product, or if you're not, maybe you don't need to. And that's wonderful. If you're not in that situation where you need to have a sleeping solution, like a safety bed, that's like, kudos to you. That's awesome. But I just hope that when you hear our name, that the heart behind where all of this came from, we want to serve you. We want to serve you well. We want you to know that we care for you, and that you feel that whether you're using our bed, or you're just,
walking the walk.
Walking the walk, right? So.
My gosh, you guys are so incredible. I am so grateful for everything you do for the Angelman community and for the Angelman Syndrome Foundation. We are so glad that we get to share all of this with the whole community. And you guys are really, really inspirational. I appreciate you.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. You guys are amazing. Thank you for partnering with us.
Yeah.
Oh, hopefully there's just more and more to come. We can continue together serving more families.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, unless there's anything else you'd like to add, I think we can wrap up.
No, just thank you. Thank you for your time. And this has been really wonderful. And like, if anyone has a question, like I always say, just reach out to us. And we're happy to help you in any way.
Oh, there we go. That's how we'll end. So where do people find you? How do they get a hold of you?
They can do Limitless at safeplacebedding.com, or they can just call our number 614-602-5196.
Yeah.
And they can text us if they need to text.
Yeah.
If they're being crazy, and they can just shoot a text.
They can text us.
I love that.
They can visit our website, safeplacebedding.com, and then we're on socials as well, Facebook, Instagram. Just search our name and you'll find us. So
outstanding. Well, thank you guys again so much for everything you do. You are absolutely wonderful people, an amazing company, and you guys are doing really incredible things. And so we are so grateful for you. And I hope lots of people reach out and feel comfortable reaching out to you now that they got to learn more about you.
Yeah.
Me included. I got to put my new travel bed in the cart.
There we go.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening to the ASF podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to support us, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating or review. And please don't forget to subscribe.